Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Welcome to AIS205 lecture series number 3, that is data management. So this video will discuss on how a database is created and how it should be done so that it will be useful to the users. And we have a look on the text to column features and how to remove any duplicates or redundant data in the database, and a bit on the data validations, sorting, and also filtering. So what is a database? The definitions of database is actually a collection of data that we organize in a way that we can access, retrieve, and use the data. It is very suitable for a very large amount of related data. For example, an employee database where the records or the related data that is on the salary, the personal details, the contacts number, so those are related data. And it's also very suitable for something that you need to have a fast in updating the data, or a query on the data itself, and also in creating reports. So if you need all these tasks to be done to your records, so it will be best for you to have a database as a tool for you to assist you in managing the company. So in the database actually will comprise files, a number of files. For example, files on your employees, files on the training centers, or you have files on customers, files on suppliers, and also files on your inventory. And in your files will have records. In Excel, if you see the data in rows, so we will say that every row is the records. So row 1 is a record 1, row 2 is the second record. So these records actually will have related fields. So the column we call the fields. So you usually have the name of the fields. I mean, each column has a unique name of the fields. And in the fields is actually determined by the characters. I mean, the size of the fields are determined by how many characters to be fit into that field. For example, our IC number has 18 characters. So that is the field size for your field of IC number. So let's have a look at the usually terms that we use in database. Field is actually a combination of one or more related characters or related bytes, which is those are smallest unit to be accessed. And the field size is the number, the maximum number of characters that are to be fit into that field. And the data type, each field can be determined which data type to be. For example, the field is for date, so we will specify data type on the field date is on using date style or date type. Let's say for our the age, our age. So age can be data type of numeric. Record is actually a group of related fields, just I said just now, where in Excel you can see the records represented by the row. So the row 1 is the record 1, the row 2 is the second record. And the file is actually a group of records that normally we store them in medium storage, such as in your hard disk or probably in clouds. Okay, let's have a look on the text to column features. Sometimes when we copied our database from documents, so they are in terms of text, and when we import text to column features, we actually assisting in how to separate the data, where there are two data in one cell, so we want to split them into the two columns, the two fields. So we can use the text to column features to separate the contents into a separate column. It's very important because it reduces the necessity of retyping the data. So it can preserve the accuracy of the data itself, because humans are prone to making errors. So if you retyping the data, there is a possibility error will occur. Removing duplicate is another thing that features if you use Excel for maintaining your database, because duplicates sometimes happens in our database, because there are a lot of data. A large data usually will have the possibility of redundant records. So if you have a redundant records, you should remove the redundant records, because it will lead to a bigger mistake in your database. And if your database has mistakes, so your report will then be not as accurate as you intended. So the removing duplicate features in Excel can remove the identical records or partially matching the records. So if you are sure that those records are duplicated, so you can delete one of it, and only one the actual data will actual records will be remains in the database. Let's have an example how to use the text to column features, and also removing the duplicate. Let's say you are given this database in a Word documents. So then you need this data to be extracted for reports. So if you use Word documents, so it's very difficult for you to analyze data, to do anything more in a quick way, to filter, to sort the data, and so on. So there is a quicker way for you to do it if you have this database in Excel. So let's copy our data from a Word. Okay, paste them out. Wait. Alright. Whether you will keep the source of formatting from the word or using the destinations. Oops. Okay, sorry. Match it the destination formatting. So either way, then you can you still can edit it later. Okay, let's say match destination format. Okay, we have a field of staff ID, a field of employee name, monthly salary, attendance record, and the performance mark. So let's have a look. Okay, employee. You can see the employee names is combination of first name and last name. So actually they have two fields here, first name and last name. So let's say if you want to separate the first name and the last name, so you can use the text to column, separating them, because you can see that the first name is separated by a comma from the last name here. Okay, now let's try to see whether we can separate them. So click at the data tab, then you have an icons of text to column. Click there, and then you have a delimited or fixed width. So using this delimited, because the data type that we have, the first name and the last name are separated by a comma. Do not use the spacebar, because even our first name has spacebar. Okay, next, and then we have another small window saying that this screen that you set the delimiters. How they separate the data. They separate the data not by tab but with comma. Right? You can see. Then the preview that they gave you, employee name becomes the column of employee name becomes the first name, and the second column becomes the last name. Okay, this is what we want. We want to separate the first name and the last name. Okay, next. Okay, you can determine the field name, but we can use it later. We can edit them later. Okay, then click finish. You are warned. There's already data here. The B column already has data. So you want to replace it? Yes, you want to replace it with the first name, and the second column would be the last name. Then click OK. There you will be have the separated data of the employee name, first name of employee. Okay, sorry, it should be caps lock. First name, and this one would be the last name or the surname of your employee. That is one of the way you using the text to column features. Now let's have a look on the how to remove the duplicates. Okay, to remove the duplicates, you need to identify which field has been uniquely identified for the records. For example, let's say you choose the first name. to be look into the uniqueness of the records. Well, for employee name, it is not advisable because many of us has the same name, right? I remembered in my class, in my high school class, I have a friend that has the same name, the same spelling with me, and it always always make a confusion among us. I mean, with the the teachers, and also among us, our friends and classmates. So do not use the first name or the last name for identifying the uniqueness of the records. So it better use the staff ID, because staff ID will be used only once for each employee employed. So if they retired, the employee ID cannot be used. It remained as belongs to that particular employee, even though they have been retired or quit from the business. So okay, the remove duplicate is still at the data tab. So go to the data tools group, and you have here the icon of you see that there is a mark X, the red X here. So this is actually the features for remove the duplicates. Usually they will has a name here. There, remove duplicates. So click at the remove duplicates, and they automatically highlight the database that you have. Okay, then, and you are required to delete the duplicate values. So which are the fields that most probably has duplicate values that represent the uniqueness of the data in the field. So I choose only okay, unselect offers. So you just click at the staff ID, looking any duplicate of staff ID, because staff ID cannot be duplicated. So then click OK. First of all, click OK. Okay, and the warning sign appear. It says here 1 duplicate values found and removed, and 34 unique values remain. So your database actually has 35 records, but now it only has 34 because one of it has been removed because they found the staff ID has a duplicate number. Just like your IC number, your IC number is unique to you, belong to you, cannot belong to other people. So if your records has duplications of IC number, then there must be something wrong. And click OK. So your database now is free from error, free from error due to duplications or redundant data. Okay, continue on the still on in database data validation. The subtopic of data validations, this is very important because the data validation will ensure that you're helping you to make sure that the data that you have is an accurate one, or minimize the error, especially in typing the data. as you know that our accounting data must be accurate. So the data chosen must be free from mistake. So we have actually a way, a feature in Excel uh, to help us to ensure that only accurate or the correct data to be entered into the system, so that we have a correct data and to be processed, and any invalid data should be avoided to be in that database, because any invalid data in our database will produce an inaccurate report. So you know that inaccurate reports will lead to inaccurate decision making. So validation is actually a process to compare the data that we enter into with a set of rules or values that we have determined for that particular cell. And this process will find out whether the data entered is correct or not. The data validations has 3 levels of controls. The first one, it can display a prompt message when the cell that we already put the data validations features. When we click the cells, it will display a prompt message, but we will not restrict anything on the cell itself. The second level of control, we restrict the type of range of the data that can be entered into the cell. This second level of control, I will show you later in a practical example. Okay, the third level of control is using a formula that located in different location to determine that if you enter data into the cell, then that particular formula will making sure that will tell you that the data entered is invalid. And in data validations, you can choose how to set the error alert message. This alert message is displaying a message explaining the restrictions or when you enter the invalid data into the database, or this is the file. So one way, the alert message, the first one is stop style, where you can't even enter the invalid data to the file. Warning styles warns that warning us that the invalid data has been entered into the cell, but there is an option for you to override the restriction. You still can enter the data. Or the third style, that is information style, where it informs that the data is invalid. Your data that you entered is invalid, but it does not prevent the entry. Normally, when I set data validations in Excel file, I usually use the stop style, means that you prevent at all the invalid data to be entered in any way. Okay, let's do the practical example on data validations. I will not show you all, but a certain data validation that will stop entering the invalid data. Let's say we have another field that is called OT hours, the overtime hours. So overtime hours is actually in a month. If you refer the Employment Act in Malaysia, said that the overtime hours, the maximum overtime hours is 104 in a month. So you can divide in days, or you can divide by week and so on. But in a month, it says that 104. So that is the maximum hours for the overtime for the employees in Malaysia. Okay, let's say we want this particular, all the cells here. Oops. Wait. We want to specify this is the cells that we want to be specified data validations not more than 104. So we go to the data validations again. Choose the data tab and group of data tools. You have an icons of data validations. Once you click the data validations icon, it will give you a small window, data validations settings. So the criteria, they say you want to allow any value, or you can choose whole number, decimal, etc. Usually I use whole number because over time we usually calculate in terms of hours a whole number, and just click whole number. And just now we say that not more than 104, that is the maximum number. So you should be we choose less than equal to, or you can use less than 104. So you use the less than or equal to 104 because 104 is the maximum number. So maximum is 104. Okay, we can have specify the input message. Input message, you can say that warning or stop, or the title will say warning, say warning, maximum is 104. Okay, and the error alert, whether you can use a stop style or warning style or information style. I usually stop style because it stops the invalid data to be entered. Okay, and you can say that you can have a custom, say that when the invalid data enter, you can say that salah must be less or equal to 104. Okay, let's say we have this setting, then click OK. So you can see the warning maximum is 104. So let's say we sometimes, even though there is a warning, people sometimes mistakenly type wrongly. Let's say 100. So still valid to be entered. Okay, let's say it's supposed to be 90, so you put 900, right? Salah. So the error message is salah must be less or equal to 104. So you cannot enter the invalid data. Okay, still in validation. However, your error alert exceptions means that your error alert may not be working or function. it will not be displayed if there is some circumstances in your while you are entering the data. It only displays when you type in the cell. However, the error alert will not appear if the invalid data is copied into the cell or entered using the field handle, automatically entered by the Excel. So the error alert message will not appear. The second circumstances that can be a situation that you will happen, but situation that happen, the error alert will not be appear if the formula in the cell actually calculating the invalid result. And the third situations, you are using macro entering the invalid data. So again, the error alert will not be appear. Okay, move on to the next topic is sort. So your data sometimes is jumbled out, but it's jumbled out. Sometimes it looks messy. So sorting can be done using Home tab, or you can use Data tab, or you can use the right click, a simple way, right click, or you are using the auto filter drop down, actually drop down auto filter, or you're using a sort dialog box. So there are 5 methods that you can use to sort your data. Just as I said just now, sometimes your data is so messy, it's unorganized, so it's not look good, not professional enough to be presenting to your boss or to anyone else. So you can arrange them in sequence, for example, ascending or descending order. So it's more presentable in a way. And it's much easier if you sort the data to for you to analyze the data. Just now I said you sorting may use the ascending or descending order, or you want to arrange smallest to largest, largest smallest, or using cell background, or you can sort according to font color. There are many ways to sort. And you can also sort in few different criteria. Another one is filter, a subtopic again, filtering. Well, we have a simple filtering where this filter is enable you to view a record, a group of records that meet a certain criteria, and it can you can set the conditions, and then when the conditions or the criteria is met, and the data will be displayed. And if the data will not meet the criteria, so this data will remain hidden. It will not be removed from the file actually, but it's just hidden from your view. And when you want to retrieve the auto filter drop down arrow, you can use by highlighting the cells to be filtered, and then you go to Home tab, and then you click at the sort and filter and choose filter. Or you can using the Data tab. Again, you need to highlight the cells to be filtered first. Go to Data tab, and then you click at filter and sort and filter group command. And to view the filter data, just click the checkbox, which the desired criteria, which data to be displayed. So let's have a practical example on sorting and filter. Let's say you were given employee data like this. So you can see the it's jumbled up actually. When it's jumbled up like this, it's unorganized. So it's not professional for you to use this as a report to your boss, or using this data is because it's unorganized. So if you want to organize it, you can use the sorting just now. The features of sort can be using the right click, the home tab, the data tab. So right click, just click the right click and you can have here sorting. Right? Okay. Or you can use the data tab. You have sort here. So you click the sort and you have the sort dialog box. You can add level. Let's say your data has many fields and it's possible for you to have a second level of sorting. Let's say you want to sort according to a state. Then after you sort a state, then you want to sort the sales order value, for example. So you have two criteria. You can use that. And okay, but my example in this video do not permit me accurately to sort using the two label of two label data to be sorted, right? Okay, just use only one. But if you want to add, just click this button, add level. If you have a mistake adding up the level, then you just click the delete level button. Okay, we want to sort the data. Always remember, if your data has header, means that your data has the field name. In my example here, we have the headers, means that each field has been named. For example, there is a staff ID, first name, and so on. If you click my data headers, and the options to sort by will be displayed as the data headers. If you uncheck the box of my data headers, when you click the drop down arrow for sort by column, it will show column A, column B. There is no name of headers. Since we have headers, if you have headers, but please click the checkbox of my data has headers, because if you do not check that particular box, your headers will be accounted or included in the sorting process. Okay, let's say we want to sort by the first name, and we want the order from A to Z, means ascending order. Okay, you can also choose Z to A, means descending order from Z to A. Okay, I want to choose A to Z. Okay. And when you click OK, and your data is being sorted. The first name is being sorted alphabetically. Not the last name, is using the first name. Now after sorting, so it's much organized and more professional data displayed to your boss or display to others. Now let's practice on the filter part. Okay, filter is available in the data tab, and you can click filter. Just highlight the data that you want to be filtered. Okay, let's say you want to filter, you want to filter the attendance. Right. Or you want to filter according to the performance mark. Okay, let's say attendance first. Just click the filtering, the icon filter, and your field has a drop down button here. This is we call the drop down auto filter. When you click here, if select all means that it will be displayed all. Let's say you want only 240 or more than 240. So you will say 240, 241, 243, 4, 5, 6, 6 and 7. There more? Oh yes. But you don't want blanks, because when we select the column attendance just now, we select everything, including non-data cell below your the last of your records. You click OK. So you will filter only 30 only this record. Let's say you want to have a lesser one. I mean, you want only the highest. It's so annoying. Only the 255, 250, and let's say 250 or more. Click OK. So you have this only data. So once it's been filtered, then you can copy them. Control C, or just right click, copy. Let's say you want to copy to another sheet. Cells, you only want to paste the value. So you have this report to be given to your boss. You can say that these are the employees that has attendance more than 250 or more. As I said just now, the data is actually not removed from the original file or the database. It will not be removed. It's just hidden. So if you uncheck, you select all, then you click OK. All the data is being displayed again. Click Escape to stop the. You can actually let's say you want to also to filter out the performance mark. So you just click filter. Oh, sorry. Oh, filter. Okay. So both of the cell is being filtered. So let's say you want to filter all the more than 90 performance mark, and again you want to filter those more than 250. Okay, so you get less and less data that meet the criteria, attendance 250 or more, and also I wish you were 150 or more, and the performance more than 90. Okay. Okay. Another filter we call it as an advanced filter, which is a bit more complicated features to filter out your data. The advanced filter is being used if you want to filter the database by more than one fields or many fields. It's more powerful than just simple filtering just now that I showed you. Yeah, there are 8 methods to use. So it needs time to explore each one of them. And the advanced filter has a possible combinations. I mean, you have the options to possibly combine a filter with a criteria range or without any criteria, or you can choose to filter the data in place of the database, or you copy them to another locations. I usually copy the filtered data to a new location because I don't want to corrupt my original data. And another option that you can have is to return the all matching values or only the unique values. So now let's have a look how the advanced filter works. Okay, when you want to use the advanced filtering, so first of all, you need to copy the headers of your data. The header, copy them first. Control C and Control V. Escape. Stop the highlighting, the blinking range. Okay, let's see. Performance mark. Wait. Okay, I want to change the color here. I don't like the same color, so let's say using another color. Okay, let's say we want to filter this list to those employees that has attendance more or equals to 250. So you put your criteria on the second row of copied headers. Okay, and also I want the list the employees that has performance mark more or equals to 90. So I want both criteria here. I mean, has attendance 250 or more, and also I want the employees also has performance mark 90 or more. So now we want to use the advanced filter. So click at the data tab, goes to the advanced filter. I mean, goes to the group of sort and filter. So you click at the advanced filter here. Okay, once you click, there is a small window, advanced filter. So the actions, I mean, you can remember I told you just now is an options, a combination of first you should decide whether to filter in the list, means filter in your list here. I mean the data, the original data that you have. I usually don't like it, so I usually goes to copy to another locations. And the list range is actually the which data that you want to filter. Okay, the set of the data you want to filter. Okay, you can specify. Just click on the up arrow button here on your left, on your right, sorry. Okay, and you specify from the headers until the last of your records. This is like right. Then to go back to the original pop-up window, just blue arrow button on the right here. Okay, and you goes back to the original pop-up window, small pop-up window, and the criteria range. Just now we has already specify the criteria. So you click at the up arrow button, criteria range. So you can specify, just highlight from the staff ID to include the second row. I mean, include the criteria that you want just now. That is more than 250 for attendance, more or equal. 250 of the attendance and the performance mark more or equal to 90. So you include here the range of the criteria. And then another option is that you can copy to a new location just now. So you specify which location. So let's say I want to specify here. Just click on one cell. And then back to the pop-up windows. Unique records only means that if you have a redundant data, it will automatically delete it. So just ignore that, and then click OK. Ta-da! The records that match or meet the criteria that you have specified just now. So the attendance more or equal to 250 and the performance mark more or equals to 91. So these are the only person that meet those two criteria. That's all for this video discussing the topic of database. Data management actually. So see you in the next video for the next topic. Thank you for watching.